Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is Michael Dean on the Prince Podcast here on Podcast Juice. We got another live one today. I'm excited. This is going to be some good stuff. But before I introduce the guest, I also got to welcome my co-host, my buddy, my homeboy, my partner, Mr. Big Sexy and Sax. Sir, how are you?
Man, Mike, I'm doing great. Took the day off of the court battles to talk some music, and this is going to be a blast. I'm looking forward to this.
All right. So let's get things started. We are blessed today to have none other than Liv Warfield in the building. How are you doing, Liv?
I'm good. I'm really, really good.
All right.
Good.
Well,
for having me.
Thank you for coming on. We really appreciate you taking the time out to bless us today. So before we get started, because I remember hearing that you are from the Portland area, Portland, Oregon, but are you still in that area now, or you moved somewhere else?
No, I'm actually born and raised in Peoria, Illinois.
Okay.
And I moved out to Portland, Oregon when I was about 18, and I got my music start development from Portland, Oregon. So all the chances I took out on music, that was in Portland, and Portland is like definitely my second home. For sure. Okay,
that's what's up. I'm over here in Seattle, so we're not too far away.
Yes, oh, and I miss it out there.
Yeah. So I wanted to really talk about on this particular episode, just like the paying forward of blessings and opportunities. And I say that because I got an opportunity to see my first after show of Prince. I believe that was through you, and you may not know this, and so you can you can correct me if I'm wrong. Now, do you know this is my homegirl Chocolate?
Yes,
okay.
I sure do.
Yeah, yes. That's my people. So,
yes, I love her.
Yeah, so when you guys came to Seattle, 2011 or something, and you did the concert at Tacoma.
Yes.
So Chocolate had never seen Prince before, and so our thing was, she was like, "Yo, Prince is coming. You know, Dean, I gotta go to this. I said, cool, we're gonna check it out." So that was all cool. And then like maybe a day before the concert, she hit me up. She's like, "Yo, Dean, I got a surprise for you." I'm like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, my homegirl Liv hit me, said they're coming. Well, I already know they're coming, but they're gonna do an after show. And can she wanted me to come down?" She's like, "Of course, if I'm going, you going." So I was like, "What?" So
I know.
Do you remember that?
I don't remember that. It's so crazy because I can't remember. I don't know if it was it 2012? It's
either 11 or 12, one of the two.
Something around there. But yeah, that's crazy. Now you put me onto something I've totally forgot, because I love chocolate, and so that's definitely a possibility.
Yeah, and so like I'm saying, it was a blessing to me because I was a longtime Prince fan, but I had never seen an after show before, and to see that real intimate sort of setting. So to actually go in there, we got the the VIP and all that kind of stuff, and just to sit there and watch, it motivated me to be like, you know what, I gotta get serious in whatever I'm doing. Because this cat is doing it big, seeing you, Shelby, y'all shut it down. I was like, what?
There's many hours of the night we put in for those after shows. Let me tell you, I mean, they were so much fun. I was just talking to Shelby about that, like, how much we miss doing those after shows. And, because at first, in the beginning, when I first did my after shows, I was like, what? We just got done playing this arena show, and now we about to perform at like 2:00 in the morning, and we got to sing again until like at least 5 or 6, and then that changed my life. Like I already had the appreciation for music, but that's appreciation. Like that's some like next level type stuff. I miss it. I really do miss that.
Talk to me about that process, because when I saw that you guys did the show, when I say you guys, you, Shelby, and Alyssa, if I'm saying her name right? Alyssa, excuse me. You guys like were front and center, and it was like your show, and you guys handed it. I mean, you was like, of course I was there to see Prince, but I was like, yo, like these guys is killing it right now. You know, you're holding your own, exceeding expectations. So, but what did it take to get to that level?
You know what? I have to thank. I really do have to put my kudos and thanks to Shelby. You know what I mean? Like, I'm talking about her because first off, I was a fan of Shelby J when she was with D'Angelo.
Yeah.
And first, when I saw her and the energy that it took to even just hold the crowd, I mean, they just got done seeing a Prince show. So, you know how we would do the after shows and everybody would be like, oh, is he coming? Is he going to play on stage? The beautiful part about Prince was he was like, man, y'all just get up there and play, you know? And I'm like, play what? And then like Shelby, Elisa, you know, they definitely weren't afraid of just throwing out a lot of the classics that Prince would like to play. We would like to sing like a lot of Sly and the Family Stone songs. And after that, after I started doing those after shows, I was like, oh yeah. You know, I slowly, honestly started to develop the, the confidence to go out there and just put on those shows. And then even when we would rehearse with Prince, it was like, you know, we rehearsed those Sly songs. We rehearsed some David Bowie stuff. Like, we had a huge catalog of songs, but we, you know, it was just kind of our time, and he let us have our time to just sing, you know, just go out there and play and sing and have fun with it. I mean, it was, I'm telling you, it was so much fun. After we've had maybe about 5 or 6 Red Bulls, not that many, but we had our fair share of Red Bulls. But I mean, it was fun. I mean, the whole process, even all the musicians and stuff on stage, like, you know, we would start with Sly and then end up going into some jam. Mm-hmm. You know, it was just like continuous music all night. You know, I'm just really thankful for him. I mean, even again, like paying it forward, that's how he would do, even at, you know, the live shows that we do at the arena shows, he would always give us those moments to shine, and he didn't have to. Prince was super generous with his light and never had to do that, you know.
What to back up a little bit, because you went to Portland to go to school and did music there, and I see you was in a group. Talk to me about Money and Lovin'.
Oh my God, you really reached back there. You went digging in the crate, honey. Okay, so Money and Lovin', I have to thank them because they gave me my first, like, you know, playing with the band live experience ever. I was able to write. It was a hip hop group. Mm-hmm. I love those cats because it was live music. Like, that's what I was really attracted to more than anything. And we were all college students. And, you know, we would play at this place called Mount Tabor in Portland, like every Tuesday night. And I would be there constantly. I'm talking about religiously. And you know, those were the seeds that were planted for me to just kind of step out and like learn to be on stage. Wow, you really dug. But that was a fun group for me. I mean, because I love hip hop. I mean, Portland had a really cool and dope hip hop scene. Mm-hmm. So I was really very much into that. And that's where I got my growth. And then Linda Hornbuckle, who was very much my inspiration and mentor, was really pushing me out there. I was slowly but surely just kind of learning it, you know, and also learning the writing process with these cats. Like, I'm telling you, it was all new for me. You know, I was an athlete. That's what I thought I was going to do. I knew I was going to the Olympics, but I knew I could sing and I knew I could write. So it was just an opportunity. One I'm thankful for.
Wow. So how did you transition from working with Money and Lovin', and then, like, you know, years later, I don't know how many years later was Liv in the Warfield project? When did that start to kick off?
Wow.
I do my homework.
Because nobody's ever asked me this before. And sorry it's taking me a second to kind of like flash back.
You good.
I hustled my tail off. Like, I was an artist. Like, I was, you know, putting up flyers. I was doing whatever it took. Riding around in the car with my boy Sadell. We would have speakers in the back of my car. We would just go out in the middle of, like, Portland park blocks and set up speakers and sing out loud and, like, sell demos. Like, you know, those were the makings of me. And then that's what kind of started like, I reached out to these cats like Tyrone Hendricks, A.G. Donna Loya, Sean Foote. Like that's where I wrote the bulk of my first record, Embrace Me, was with those cats. Mm. And then we also had other music. Like we were, to be honest with you, like The Unexpected, like Soul Lifted was written, I want to say maybe 2 years after I released Embrace Me. I just had the song sitting there. Okay. There's a lot of that stuff. I had a really amazing base of friends and musician friends that we created this atmosphere of the Liv Warfield project, and then like Silky, and I mean I'm tripping because you really dug.
Well, not because I can respect, coming, I was, I hesitate to say sometimes, I'm a musician myself and was out there trying to make it happen. So I really like to hear, because to me, as a creative person, to know that you work with Prince, so one of the pinnacles of music, and then, so what does it take to sort of get to that, the preparation of that fascinates me. So to hear the hustle about what you had to put in, because my understanding as well, too, like, you seem to be still you're an independent artist in terms of your releases and things of that nature. So that's another powerful move of ownership and doing for self, which is important for us as a people in any way, but I don't want to go down that road.
Yeah.
But and so in terms of Embrace Me, again, sort of, I want, if we can sort of dive into a little bit of that opportunity and that blessing that comes. So Marva King, shout out to her.
Yes.
Somehow she gets your audition tape or something. Can you kind of?
Yeah. Marva King, I had saw her, I think I was performing in, I don't know, it was like Dallas or something like that. Anyway, what's so crazy before that is I was sitting in a van with her. She didn't know who I was. I didn't know who she was. But there was something about Marva that I was like instantly like in awe of, attracted to, like, oh my God, look at, who is this woman? Marva's got such a beautiful light. And literally, I want to say 2 months later, a guy by the name of Rick, I forgot his last name. Anyway, he said, Liv, one of Prince's background singers, Marva, said that Prince is looking for a new singer. Would you want to send your, one of your videos of Gimme Shelter? I was like, heck no. I'm not going to send that, and I don't even, like, seriously, singing with Prince, are you kidding me? Like, no. And this is around one of the times where I was like I was kind of done. I felt like I was done with the music because it was really wearing me down, the whole independent. So I think they did send it without me knowing. And about 3 months later, I got a call from Marva saying like Prince was interested, and I was like, what? Like, y'all playing a game with me. And then I think I was in some hair salon place in Arizona. Wow. And then his assistant was like, well, Prince is going to call you from an unknown number. And I was like, whoa. This is crazy. And then it sure was him. I remember that day clear as day. He's just kind of like, hello. Just, like, and he was like, I love your voice. Do you want to go somewhere warm?
Wow.
First he would say that. And then that's when he flew me out to LA, and then after that he flew me out to Paisley Park, and then I had a chance to sing with Marva and Shelby, and just watching him sit at the piano, just, I was thrown in it, you know what I mean? And I'm thankful for him seeing something in me that I didn't see in myself, to know that I could handle it, because he clearly knew that I was a baby, and I kind of had no clue. I'm just kind of stepping into something that I'm, it's all new to me, but I'm thankful that he saw it, and I'm thankful that every day he challenged me when I was there. When I first sang that night with Marva and Shelby, we were singing a Sly and the Family Stone song, and he was walking away, and I think he kind of looked at Marva like, nah, she's not going to cut it, because I really wasn't singing out loud. And then Marva kind of nudged me like, girl, you better sing. Like, you know, I brought you all the way out here. You better sing. And then I really sang. I opened up my mouth and really sang. And then he turned around and he smiled and he walked back, you know. And that was just kind of like one of those things kind of nudging me. You know, he always was pushing me to push my limit, you know.
What was it? I just, you know, I really want to get a sense for this. Is amazing. Like, what was it like? You said he sent you or had you come out to L.A. first.
Yes.
So that first initial, did you meet him at that time? Did you actually sing at that time as well, or?
I'm sorry. Let me reverse that. I went to Paisley Park first.
Okay.
And the next, I think maybe week or two after that, I went to LA. That was like serious rehearsals. Like I flew into Paisley Park and we sang. All three of us girls, we sang. And that was pretty much it. That was the first time like me meeting him, because I remember him opening up the doors, kind of like saying, "Are you hungry?" And I'm like, "No." You know, it's kind of like, you know, you go into auntie's house or grandma's house, you know, touch no furniture,
right?
You know.
Don't touch nothing.
Don't touch nothing. Just look at the walls. Don't do nothing. And so he was just like, you know, relax, you know. And we were just conversating. Like, you know, here I am talking to this man, the greatest of all time. And he's just treating me like, you know, I'm a friend. We're friends. Don't even worry about that. Wow. It's hard to, you know, he sits down at the keys and blows your mind.
Wow.
You know, the first time you meet him. So, yeah.
How was the, so you met Marva, you had met her before. How was it that first meeting with Shelby?
It was intense because it was a serious creative environment when you walked inside Paisley. When I walked inside Paisley, I can see Shelby on her laptop getting them songs ready. And I was like, okay, this is serious. You know what I mean? I guess I should say we don't come to play games here. But I was also I was already a fan of Shelby's, like I said before. So I'm shy. You know what I mean? I'm really, really shy. So it takes a while for me to warm up to people. So she was intense, straight up. And I know, sis, if you hear this, yes, she was intense. But as we started to grow and to learn each other, I had so much respect for Shelby because she's a performer, man. Like, her light is huge. And, you know, and I think all of us kind of piggybacked off the light that Prince always had, you know, because you'd be crazy not to catch that energy that he brought. So with Shelby, she was, you know, she always had the songs. She always kind of had us, you know, ready to, you know, rehearse those background vocals. I mean, we were tight. So I was just really thankful to, you know, to watch her and watch how she worked with Prince and just, you know, just watching her.
Wow. So, and you talked about going back to LA. Now, my understanding, did you sing or perform at one of his like house parties while you were there?
Yeah, we did. We did a couple of parties in LA. Yeah, we did, and those were so much fun too, because you never know who was going to walk in the door. You know, and that's the thing about Prince. Is like he just loved music, you know, and we loved being around it. You know, I love the fact that he was always so ready to be creative, anytime, anywhere, any place. You know, ready to create. And some people can't handle that. It's like 24/7 making music, 24/7. So yeah, those parties were fun, a lot of fun.
Wow. And also I wanted to ask you, you know, how did your family, like when they heard that you were, you know, going to work with Prince, I mean, how did your family receive that? I'm sure they were happy for you, but it had to be a big deal. Like,
yeah, I mean, they were tripped out. I mean, they were really, really excited for me. It took my parents not too long, but, you know, I come from, you know, raised Pentecostal, so it took them a little a little while in the beginning, even in my music career, to be like, okay, what is going on? Because she never sang around us in the house. And what is she singing about?
Right.
You know? But they were so excited. They were really, really happy. My parents, got to meet him a couple times, and they, they loved him, and he loved them, and it was great.
That's dope. So your first, to me, is monumental. Like your first performance with Prince in public was on the Tonight Show. Was that right? With Jay Leno?
Yes, it was.
Wow.
Oh my God.
What did that feel like?
Yes, it was. Everything was moving so fast. Everything was moving so fast. Like I said, when you are performing or you're around a man of that magnitude, it's just, you gotta, stick your chest up, out, and go and sing and be confident in it. I mean, I didn't really have a chance to really take that moment in because it was so fast. I look back at it now and I'm like, wow, you really jumped in the fire. You went in there. So it was crazy, thinking about it now. It was crazy because I remember, I think that was I don't know if it was the night then or the night before we did the Nokia in LA. I think it was 3 night. That was my first show with him too.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Man. If you can you share with us, I'm just always fascinated by sort of the rehearsal experience. Like, in my mind, I imagine you're out in Minnesota or wherever he would stay at, and like, we're practicing every day. But I mean, how does that work? How did that process work?
Our rehearsals were we always rehearsed, and you need to. That's the thing is, I don't know. Here's the thing. Like, there's some things that I like to keep to myself about a lot of Prince.
Yep.
But I know I can tell you for sure, when we had rehearsals, I mean, we rehearsed. I mean, we were tight. He knew we would not go out on no stage unless we were tight. So the rehearsals were definitely grueling, and not a bad way. We just, we always made sure they were tight. He didn't want to go anywhere and for us to sound, off or anything like that. And I respect that. I respect that work ethic.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of what I was wanting, the work ethic. It's a high pedigree of Prince.
High pedigree. And I missed it. I miss that. The grind. All the time. Playing, rehearsing. I love rehearsal. There's not enough rehearsal. I can rehearse all day.
Well, I also was looking to, just getting ready for this. I watched again. I remember when it came on, your performance on Arsenio. And I'm looking at that. I'm like, she bad. I was like, woo. I mean, you obviously, how far had you come? Because it just, the confidence that you had, and it just seemed like effortless. And I was like, man, where is she coming from? Like, people don't just come out like that. Like, you have to sort of go through this whole thing to get to that level of expertise. But I mean, like, you were really on point with that. I was just blown away by that. And that's your second album, I believe.
Yeah. The Unexpected.
Yeah.
I really wanted to, I don't know. It's still in me, but I really worked my tail off for that performance. Like, I just wanted it to come off right. I just had it in my mind, the visual in my mind, what I wanted it to be. And the thing about, I talked to Prince about it, and he just usually, I guess with the first performance when we did Jimmy Fallon, he gave input about, the shows. And I was like, yeah, like, I had always talked to him about my shows feeling like they're kind of like the blaxploitation. I wanted them to be performances. I wanted the song to feel like it was being acted out.
Okay.
And I wanted people to feel it. So with Soul Lifted on Arsenio, he was like, all right, I'm going to see what you going to come up with. And I was like, okay. And I love that because he once again challenged me. And he was just like, all right, Liv, you you kind of know what you're doing. I'm like, yeah, but at the same time, I learned from you. If you see Sign of the Times, that's what I loved, was that it was, these songs had these images and he acted them out. And that's what I wanted for the album. And that's what I kind of wanted for Soul Lifted. I wanted it to speak that way. So I'm glad. Thank you that it did feel like that.
Yeah, no.
Dope.
I was like, woo. Just on a fan level, and I'm going to have a Big Sexy ask some questions. When you were working at Paisley Park, did you ever guys just have geek out moments where you could just kind of walk through there and look at stuff? Because I'd be like, where the thing at from there? Like you just said, Sign of the Times, a movie. I'd be in there trying to find the old sets and stuff. Like, where's all this?
Well, there was, I haven't been that deep inside Paisley.
Okay.
Once again, because I'm like, no, I'm not about to go back there. But every time you walk inside Paisley, like the energy was magical and is magical. And I say was, it is. Every time you walk into that place. So I never really got so far deep in there, but the places I could go, I'm just in awe every time I went in that building. You feel it in there. I mean, you got to think that's years and years and years of creativity, years of energies and frequencies and people coming in and out of that place, creatively. So yeah.
All right. Big Sexy.
Yo.
Turn over to you, sir.
Yes, definitely. Liv, first, again, thank you for coming on. I, like yourself, am a rock person deep down.
Nice.
And this year, there were two things that really spoke to me. I don't know if you're aware of this, but there was a collaboration with Santana and the Isley Brothers.
What? No.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
We'll talk off the air. Okay. And the one that you are a part of with Nancy Wilson from Heart. When I heard about that, I'm like, okay, I'm all over this. Now, having heard it, and I love it, I love Get Loud. I sing Get Loud. That's right, I said it.
Nice, yeah.
Now, tell us how all of this came about.
Well, I had the chance to open up for Heart at the Hollywood Bowl. And I was already a big fan of Heart anyway. So it was 2 nights, I believe, with the symphony. And at the end of the night, I was like, look, I got to meet one of them. Like, I got to meet them. Because I already kind of wanted to do a rock project anyway. So irregardless of that, I just wanted to meet one of them. So I got to meet Nancy. And as soon as Nancy and I met, we clicked. Like, God, we were talking for so long. We could have carried on the conversation, forever. And then she said, well, let's not just, she asked me, well, let's just meet up. If you're back in LA, let's just meet for lunch. And then she's like, let's just not say we're going to do it. Let's actually do that. And I made sure I stayed in contact with her. And, I started sending her some songs, some rock stuff I was working on, and she would give me advice. And one thing led to another. And we're at a rehearsal space with a band, and my best friend and my brother, Ryan Waters, and we created this Roadcase Royale with her other band members. It's pretty amazing.
That is great. Now, how has the live shows, how have they been going? I've seen a couple of things on YouTube, and again, I'm blown away. How's that going so far? They're so much fun. And that's the thing, it's like, we're in the beginning stages of this band, and we haven't even yet touched, I feel like, how far we really could go. But there's so much fun. Like, live is crazy. Like, and to be able to sing some of those Heart songs are crazy for me too. So it's really a lot of fun. And my brothers and Nancy, she's something else to work with. There's a certain power and freedom and confidence I love about her. Which, I'm learning about for sure. All right. All right. As far as the current tour, I understand that there was a reason that, we're not going to get into, but the tour had to be postponed. Are there any upcoming dates or any reschedules?
I hope there's going to be reschedules. They're working on that right now, because we definitely wanted to be out on the road, performing more. And I hope we get to go back out with Bob Seger as soon as he gets well again, which we want him to, just to get better, period. So we hope that happens soon, really soon.
All right. Fantastic. I know that you caught Prince's attention by a clip of Gimme Shelter. Yeah. How did that all come about? I know someone else gave it to him, but when you do your solo set, how much rock, how much R&B, and you call it alternative R&B, how do you put it all together in one set?
I just like to dip and dabble in whatever I feel like I want to do, that's a good question. I feel like if you want to play it, like for instance, I really think like, kind of like Mother's Finest, who I really, 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 really love.
Oh yeah.
Kind of had that vibe of like, it felt like it's R&B, but it's definitely rock, it's kind of all those flavors that I like to do, but I don't want to ignore R&B, and I don't want to just do, you know what I mean? I just don't want to do all R&B sometimes. It's kind of my mood or whatever I feel like I want to do, to be honest, and what the band wants to do, with my band. I'm not talking about Roadcase Royale, but if it was me independently, I would do it all.
All right. Well, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Back to you, Mike.
A couple more questions. I know we have to wrap it up. Sure. One, you've been doing some shows with Shelby and Judith Hill.
Yes.
Is there any conversation, possibly maybe to like record a project, the three of you guys together? No, we've never talked about that. That would be amazing to do. That would be wonderful to do. I would definitely talk to my sisters about that. Y'all should think about that. That would be a cool project.
Definitely, yes, absolutely.
And then the last thing, if you could, like, let me see. What would you like other musicians, artists, creative people to understand about Prince? Like what was some of the things that you learned by working with him?
Gosh, it's so much. I think one thing in particular for sure is you cannot be afraid to push boundaries. You cannot, in any time, you cannot be afraid to just basically do you, your originality is your originality. Roll with that. You have to kind of be fearless in this industry, or somebody, it could easily take you down, insecurities and all of that. That's one thing I loved about Prince, is that, he was secure in everything, you know what I mean? And what he wanted, and what he wanted his sound to be or his look to be. He didn't waver from that. He could care less what people thought. And I think if you whatever authenticity that you have, you stick to it. Stick to it. And if you want to change it up, but do it with confidence. That's what I learned. I mean,
all right.
Fearlessness.
I love it. Liv, we so thank you and appreciate you for coming on, sharing with us today.
Thank you.
If people wanted to get in touch with you or find out more about you, is there a website or Facebook or something they can find you on?
Yes, it's on my website is livwarfieldmusic.com, and then you can just type in Liv Warfield on Facebook and Twitter and all those lovely social media sites. I'll try to be better about posting, y'all.
All right. Well, ladies and
very much for having me. I do appreciate it.
Thank you so much. We appreciate
thank you.
Blessing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it here. This the Prince Podcast here on Podcast Juice. Again, myself, Big Sexy and Sack, we thank you for joining us today. And as I always say, work it like a job. We'll see you next time. Peace.